Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you all will be fine. In the last lecture, we have discussed the basic concept of DC generators, its equivalent circuit, the terminal characteristics, and nonlinear analysis of a separately excited DC generator, and also solved a numerical problem. In this lecture, we will discuss a new topic which is called the transformers. Now, the question is, what is the transformer? The definition of the transformer is, a transformer is a device that changes AC electric power at one frequency and voltage level to AC electric power at the same frequency and another voltage level through the action of a magnetic field. As per definition of the transformer is basically does not change the frequency. The frequency in the transformer remains same. Transformer is basically only changes the voltages from one voltage level to another voltage level through the action of a magnetic field. Transformer does not convert electrical power into mechanical power or mechanical power into electrical power. Transformer is basically only step up or step down the voltages from one voltage level to another voltage level through the action of a magnetic field. The basic diagram of the transformer is shown here. As you can see in this diagram, two or more coils wound around a ferromagnetic core. This is called the ferromagnetic core. These windings, as you can see in this figure, these windings are not connected electrically each other, and the connection between the windings through the magnetic flux present within the core. That is, as you can see in this figure, the windings are not connected each other electrically. As you can see in this figure, the connection between the windings is through the magnetic flux present within the ferromagnetic core. The one of the most important point of transformer is that it does not change the frequency. That's why transformer is called constant frequency device or machine, because in transformer frequency remains same. For example, if the frequency is 50 Hz, then the frequency will remain 50 Hz. If the frequency is 60 Hz, then the frequency will remain 60 Hz. As you can see in this figure, there are three windings. Normally, the transformer, there are two main windings. This is the winding number 1 and this is the winding number 2. The winding which is connected to the power source or input is called the primary winding. The winding which is connected to the power source or input is called the primary winding, and the winding which is connected, in which load is connected, is called the secondary winding. There are two main windings of the transformer. One is called the primary winding and the other one is called the secondary winding. One is connected with the power source and the other one is connected with the load. If there is a third winding on the transformer, it is called the tertiary winding. if there is a third winding present on the transformer, then the third winding is called the tertiary winding. Normally there are two main windings, that is primary windings and the secondary winding on the transformer. So these are the some basic definitions and properties associated with transformer. Now we will discuss why transformers are important to modern life. The first power distribution system to supply power for incandescent light bulbs was DC power systems, invented by Thomas A. Edison. The first power distribution system was DC power system. Unfortunately, the voltage generated at that time from DC generators was very low voltages. That is, the voltages generated from the DC generator was very low voltages, and the power transmitted was also at low voltages to the load. So if we want to transfer higher power at low voltages, for example, as we know, P is equal to V into I, where V is the voltages and I is the current. And the drawback of the first power distribution system, that is DC system, was the voltages was very low voltages. When the voltages will be low and we want to transfer higher power, then the current will be higher as well, because the voltages is low. When the current will be higher, then the power will be higher as well. So our main objective is to transfer higher power, and the drawback is the voltages generated from the DC generator was very low voltages. To transfer the higher power, it means the value of the current will be more. And as we know, power losses is equal to I square R. And in this formula, as you can see in this formula, the relationship between power losses and square of the current is directly proportional. When the current will be more, then the losses will be more as well. For example, if current increases 10 times, then the power losses will increase 100 times, because the relationship between the losses and the square of the current is directly proportional. When the current increases 10 times, then the losses will increase 100 times. This is another disadvantage of low voltages or DC power systems. To overcome this problem, in the 1880s, central power stations were located every city blocks to overcome this problem. To overcome the problem to transfer the low voltages, in the 1880s, central power stations were located every city blocks. But the problem of this approach was rural area didn't get the supply, because it was not economical to transfer over the long distances. As we have already discussed, if we transfer over long distance the DC voltage, because the DC voltages are very low voltages, if we transfer over long distance, then the value of the current will be more. When the value of the current will be more, then the losses will be more. So that's why it was not economical in the rural area, because the distance of the rural area was very large or long distance. So the main drawbacks of the DC power systems are restrictions on the range and restrictions on the power level of power systems. These are the main drawbacks or main disadvantages of the DC power systems. After the invention of the transformer and AC power systems eliminated forever these restrictions, that is restrictions on the range or distance to transmit the power and restrictions on the power level of power systems. These two restrictions eliminated forever after the invention of the transformer and AC power systems. The advantage of AC power system was in which voltages can step up or step down. As we know, P is equal to V into I. As you can see in this figure, first of all, we generate the AC voltages by using the synchronous generator. Then we use the step-up transformer because the transformer is only works on AC power system. Transformer does not work on DC power system. After the generation of AC voltages, then we use step-up transformer to step up the voltages. When the voltages will boost or increase, then the value of the current will be low. When the value of the voltage will be more for same amount of power, then the current will be low. When the value of the current will be low, as we know, P losses is equal to I square into R. The relationship between losses and the square of the current is directly proportional. When the value of the current will be low, then the losses will be low as well. After this, we will step down the voltages because the requirement of the voltages for the load is 220 volt or 380 volt. 220 volt for single phase and 380 volt for three phase load. So if we increase the voltages 10 times for same amount of power, then the current will reduce 10 times as well, and the losses will reduce 100 times. If the current will reduce 10 times, then the losses will reduce 100 times because the relationship between losses and the square of the current is directly proportional. The device which is used to increase or step up the voltages is called transformer. Transformer is basically a device which is used to step up the voltages or step down the voltages. By using the transformer, we can boost the voltages as well. Transformer is basically works only on AC power system. Transformer does not work on DC power system, as we have already discussed in the starting lectures. It means the overall conclusion is we can reduce the I square R losses by using transformer. Without transformer, the voltages are very low and the current is high. If the current is high, then the losses will be high as well. After the using of the transformer, then the value of the voltage will be more. When the value of the voltage will be more, then the value of the current will be less for same amount of power. When the value of the current will be less, then the losses will be less as well. That's why I square R losses can be reduced by using transformer. In modern power systems, generator is generated voltages of 12 to 25 kilovolt. that is in modern power system, in power generation, in power plant, generator is basically generated the voltages from 12 to 25 kilovolt. It is not possible to generate 100 kilovolt. It is not possible to generate 100 kilovolt, 200 kilovolt or 500 kilovolt because it is not economical, and also it is very difficult to design generators such a large size. That's why in modern power plant the generator is basically generated the voltages within the 12 to 25 kilovolt. After this we use step up transformer. Step up transformer is basically step up the voltages from 12 to 25 kilovolt to 110 to 1000 kilovolt. The generated voltages are 12 to 25 kilovolt. After this we use step up transformer. Step up transformer is basically step up the voltages from 12 to 25 kilovolt to 110 to 1000 kilovolt. After this we transfer these voltages through transmission line. Then we use step down transformer to step down the voltages from 110 to 1000 kilovolt to 12 to 34.5 kilovolt. After this we step down further voltages because for home, offices and factories the voltages requirement are 220 volt or 380 volt. So this is the importance of the transformer. That's why we use transformer in modern life. Now we will discuss the types and construction of the transformers. Power transformers are constructed on one of the two types of core. The first one is core form or core type, and the second one is shell form or shell type. The diagram of core type from power transformer is shown here. As you can see in this diagram, there are two main windings. This is called the primary winding, and this is called the secondary winding. The voltages across the primary winding is called the VP and the current is called the IPT. P means primary. The voltages across the secondary winding is called VS and the current is called IS. S means secondary. NP means total number of turns across the primary winding. NS means total number of turns across the secondary winding. N means number of turns, S means secondary. Similarly, N means the total number of turns and P means across the primary winding. And this is called the ferromagnetic core. And this type of the transformer is called core form transformer. It consists of a simple rectangular, as you can see in the shape of the core is in rectangular shape form. It consists of a simple rectangular laminated piece of steel, is basically laminated piece of steel with transformer windings wrapped around two sides of the rectangle. As you can see in this figure, the winding of the transformer are wrapped around two sides of the rectangle, and this is the ferromagnetic core. The shape of the ferromagnetic core is in the rectangular form, and the two sides of the windings are wrapped around two sides of the rectangle, as you can see in this figure. The second type of power transformer is shell form transformer. The diagram of shell form transformer is shown here. It consists of a three-legged laminated core. As you can see in this figure, there are three legs. It consists of a three-legged laminated core with the windings wrapped around the center leg. In this type of the transformer is called, this type of the core or transformer is called the shell form. As you can see in this figure, there are three legs. This is the leg number 1, leg number 2 and leg number 3. Laminated core with the windings wrapped around the center leg. If the windings wrapped around the center leg, then this type of the core is called shell form or shell type transformer. We mostly use the type 1, that is core form transformer, in daily life or in modern life. Power transformers are given a variety of different names depending on their use in power systems. So, different names of power transformer. The first one is unit transformer. Unit transformer is the transformer in which the output of the generator and used to step up the voltages up to 110 plus kilovolt. That is, the unit transformer is a transformer which connected to the output of a generator and used to step up the voltage up to 110 plus kilovolt. The transformer which is used to output of the generator is called the unit transformer. Unit transformer is basically used to step up the generated voltages. The transformer which is used to step up the generated voltages is called the unit transformer. The second type of the power transformer is substation transformer. The substation transformer are the transformers which steps the voltages down from transmission levels to distribution levels, that is from 2.3 to 34.5 kilovolt is called a substation transformer. The transformer which is used to step down the voltages from 110 plus kilovolt to 2.3 to 34.5 kilovolt is called a substation transformer. That is, unit transformer is basically used to step up the voltages and substation transformer is basically used to step down the voltages. This is the difference between unit transformer and substation transformer. Unit transformer is basically used to step up the voltages and substation transformer is basically used to step down the voltages. The third type of the power transformer is the distribution transformer. The distribution transformer is the transformer that takes the distribution voltage and steps it down to final voltage at which the power is actually used. That is 220 to or 380 volt is called a distribution transformer. It means the distribution transformer is also a step down transformer. In distribution transformer, the step down voltages are 220 volt or 380 volt. If the voltages across the secondary side of the transformer are 220 volt or 380 volt, then this type of power transformer is called a distribution transformer. And there are two special purpose transformers. One is called potential transformer and the second one is called the current transformer. This is called the PT and this is called the CT. The potential transformer is a device specially designed to sample a high voltage and produce a low secondary voltage directly proportional to it. Such a transformer is called potential transformer. It means in potential transformer is basically used to design to sample a high voltage and produce a low secondary voltage. The second type of the special purpose transformer is the current transformer. Current transformer is a device designed to provide a secondary current much smaller than but directly proportional to its primary current. This device is called a current transformer. These two special purpose transformer are used to measure the high voltages and high current, or the protection of for measuring instrument. Now we will discuss the next topic, that is the ideal transformer. Now the question is, what is the ideal transformer? An ideal transformer is a lossless device with an input winding and an output winding. It means the transformer is ideal transformer if there are no losses in the transformer. If there are no losses, then the transformer is called the ideal transformer. As you can see in this figure, this is the input winding, or called primary winding. As we have already discussed, this is called the secondary winding or output winding, and the losses between the input and output are zero. If the losses are zero, then the transformer is called the ideal transformer. In case of ideal transformer, firstly there will be no resistance of primary and secondary coil. It means there will be no resistance across the primary coil and across the secondary coil in case of ideal transformer. Secondly, there will be no iron losses. Iron losses is basically the combination of eddy current and hysteresis losses, as we have already discussed in the starting lectures, or also we have also done the experiment in the lab as well. In case of ideal transformer, there will be no iron losses, that is, there will be no eddy current or hysteresis losses. Iron losses means the losses which occurs within the ferromagnetic core. In case of ideal transformer, there will be no losses in the ferromagnetic core, or there will be no eddy current or hysteresis losses as well. Thirdly, in case of ideal transformer, there will be no magnetization current. And fourthly, there will be no leakage flux. Leakage flux means when the current will flow across the winding, then the magnetic flux will produce. In case of leakage flux means there will be no flux will flow outside from the core. In case of ideal transformer, all the flux will remain in the ferromagnetic core. There will be no leakage flux, or there will be no outside flux. If all the flux will remain in the ferromagnetic core, then the transformer is called the ideal transformer. These are the four main characteristics of the ideal transformer. So, as you can see in this figure, the voltages across the primary winding is VPT and the current is IPT. The number of turns is equal to NPP, means primary, and the number of turns across the secondary winding is equal to NS, and the voltage is equal to Vs and the current is Is. The relationship between the primary voltage and the secondary voltages is the relationship between the primary turn and the primary voltage is directly proportional, because as we know according to Faraday law, when the number of turns will be more. As we have already discussed, according to Faraday law, when the number of turns will be more, then the voltage will be more as well. That's why the relationship between primary number of turns and primary voltage will be directly proportional, and the relationship between secondary voltages and secondary number of turns will be directly proportional as well. So therefore Vp over Vs is equal to Np over Ns. The relationship between primary number of turns and primary voltages is directly proportional, and the relationship between the secondary number of turns and the secondary voltages is directly proportional as well. The turn ratio of the transformers is defined as A is equal to Np over Ns. Let the turn ratio is equal to A. Then the A will be equal to Np over Ns. And the relationship between primary current and the secondary current is, as we have already discussed, the magnetomotive force across the primary winding will be equal to magnetomotive force across the primary winding will be equal to Ip into Np, and the magnetomotive force across the secondary winding will be equal to Ist into Ns. Therefore, Np into Ip is equal to Ns into Ist. Ip over Is will be equal to Ns over Np. Now, as you can see in this equation, the relationship between primary number of turns and the primary current is inversely proportional, and as you can see in this equation, the relationship between primary current and primary number of turns is directly proportional. It means when the primary number of turns will be more, then the primary voltages will be more as well. But as you can see in this equation, the relationship between primary number of turns and primary current is inversely proportional. When the primary number of turns will be more, then the primary current will be less. Therefore, if we will increase the number of turns of the transformer, then the voltages will increase, because the relationship between the number of turns, primary turns and primary voltage, and secondary turns and the secondary voltages are directly proportional. When we will increase the number of turns, then the voltages will increase as well. But when we will increase the number of turns, then the current will decrease, because the relationship between the current and the number of turns is inversely proportional. Therefore, as we know, turn ratio is equal to Np over Ns. Now, the turn ratio here, the number of turns is equal to Ns over Np. Therefore, and Np over Ns is equal to, as we know, Np over Ns is equal to A, and Ns over Np will be equal to 1 over A. And therefore, if Np over Ns is equal to A, then Vp over Vs will be equal to A as well. Vp over Vs is equal to A. If Ns over Np is equal to 1 over A, then Ip over Is is equal to 1 over A as well, as you can see in this relationship. Now we will discuss the power in an ideal transformer. The diagram of an ideal transformer is shown here. As we know, power in case of AC circuit is equal to V into I cos theta. In case there are two windings, one is the input winding and the other one is output winding. The input winding is called the primary winding and the output winding is called the secondary winding. The power across the primary winding or input is equal to Vp into Ip cos theta, and the power across the output or secondary winding is equal to Vs into Is cos theta. As we have already discussed, Vp over Vs is equal to A. Here the value of Vs will be equal to Vp over A. After cross multiplication, the value of Vs will be equal to Vp over A. And as we know, Ip over Is is equal to 1 over A. After cross multiplication, the value of Is will be equal to Is is equal to A into Ip. Putting the value of Vs and Is in this equation, we get Vs and Is in this equation, we get Vp over A into Ip cos theta. A will be cancelled out with A. The remaining equation will be equal to P out is equal to Vp Ip cos theta, and this is also called the input power is equal to P in. It means this equation is very important. This equation is basically shows that in transformer power remains same, power does not change. Here as you can see in this equation, input power is equal to output power. It means transformer does not change the power. So this is also very important equation. In case of transformer, power remains same. Frequencies also remain same and the power is also remain same as well. Transformer does not change the power. Transformer is basically only changes the voltages from one voltage level to another voltage level. And the power in case of transformer remains same. The power across the primary winding will be equal to the power across the secondary winding. The same relationship between applies to reactive power and apparent power as well. In case of reactive power, Q in will be equal to Vp Ip sin theta is equal to Vs Is sin theta is equal to Q out, because as we have already proved that in case of transformer, power does not change, power will remain same. Real power will remain same, then the reactive power will remain same as well. And similarly, apparent power in case of transformer will be remain as well. That's it for this lecture.